Welcome back to Redbeard RPG and Pillars of Eternity. We're working our way through um, Galvano's workshop. I think his workshop, yeah, it's right here. Let's unlock it. Let's head inside. An elder ma- an elderly man hunches over a cluttered desk in the back of the workshop. His flesh is pulled tightly and thin, fragile looking bones except around his neck where it hangs loose and waddles. He turns to you as you enter, scowl already chiseled on his lined face.
Back again? I told you.
He hesitates, squinting at you from behind the smudged, dusty spectacles. Yeah, we haven't been here before.
Of course, a fresh fool to replace the last fools. What brings you stomping through my workshop, eh?
I have questions about Durgan's battery and the white.
And an accent I hear too rarely around these stammering mountain folk. But you go straight to business. We appreciate that, don't we?
Sure, we do.
Anything for a breather from your endless yammering.
You would miss me if I were gone, Aimura. For who would tolerate your barbs and insults? But you come seeking the White Forge, like they all do. Boys with smooth cheeks and wild dreams. Girls with bright ribbons tied next to their scabbards. Old men and women, too, seeking a final blaze of glory before they're snuffed out for another turn at the wheel. Sound familiar?
You've said all this before, I take it.
I have this conversation with every pig-headed swashbuckler those Postanagos and stalwarts send here.
Oh, okay.
Go see Galvino, they say. Surely he'll help you.
Must have slipped their minds what a busy and important fellow you are.
I should have let them stone you.
I
Would have silenced your endless rattling forever.
kind of like how she's giving him crap.
Then you'd have naught but those frostbitten inbreds for company.
Focus, please. Aldrich said you could help me.
Ah, the only one young enough to have any sense. And since his mother runs that town now, who am I to argue? The villagers and their adventurers hammer and pry at the battery as if they were laying siege to some moldering lord's keep. But those stones were laid by some of the finest builders ever to have lived, disciples of Abidan in the truest sense. They will not fall by the whims of any kith. And the door itself, it is infused with living essence.
The dwarves themselves must have had a way of getting in.
Perfetto! This is the crux of the matter. The Pargrunen of Durgan's battery perished within their own keep, victims of a violent disagreement among their own commandants. Surely in the village you have heard stories, no? Disappearing caravans, tracks in the snow, screams from the high towers.
Nah, I don't think so.
The work of spirits still trapped in the battery, and a testament to those impenetrable walls. But the door of the keep, the one the Pargrunen filled with essence, it was made to listen, to recognize its masters.
So the door needs to recognize me.
Traditional Optapo cultures revolved around language. Words revealed who they were and where they were from.
Okay.
That is why you need a Kantek.
So I believe I need. So those are like anthems?
That's the simple explanation. A Kantek is a statement of purpose, a declaration of identity. Each is unique to its stronghold.
Ha, seal your door with a key of words, and any liar can walk his way through. There's nothing built of words that won't break when the slightest stress is applied.
Thus, to enter a fortress like Durgan's battery, you would stand at the gate and recite its Kantek.
Okay, so where would I learn this?
To learn the Kantek, you must speak with one of the dwarves of Durgan's battery. A shame they are all dead, no? But no doubt their souls live on in one or two of the villagers of Stalwart. Like fine wine poured into a cheap pot.
Oh, okay.
But to identify them, that is the first problem. You would need the skills of an animancer.
I'm a watcher. The golem swivels her head sharply toward you. Her mask of a face and the glass eyes behind it betray no emotion, but it seems as if she's watching you carefully.
A watcher? The Verus? If this is true, then you could find a soul descendant from Durgan's battery, no question. But the greater difficulty remains.
What's
You
that?
would have to learn the Cantic from the dormant soul. And to do that, you would have to awaken it.
Okay, so let's. How do I do the awakening?
An awakening is merely the jolting of a dormant soul into consciousness.
Okay.
When such things happen normally, it is because something has reminded the subject of a past life, often violently so. Thus, to awaken one of the former dwarves of Durgan's battery, you will need to address that soul, and preferably by name.
Okay.
But show some care. When you examine these souls, whatever it is you watchers do, you may see images, memories.
Yeah, I've done that quite a few times.
These are moments of special import. What you see will tell you much about the person, and perhaps the condition in which they awaken.
Okay.
Awaken them from a traumatic memory, and who knows? Maybe they awaken thirsty for blood. Or maybe you awaken someone else. Here, this has been tuned to the Aeon of Durgan's battery. Use it near the villagers, and it should tell you if one has a soul old enough to have come from the battery.
Okay, sounds good. So the Cantech is all I need, right?
Who can say? None have yet opened Durgan's battery. But the ones that came before you, I think they got close. You may wish to find them and see what they discovered.
I found what's left of them, a journal and a tile.
Then perhaps the Cantech is what you now require.
And wouldn't this awakening be permanent?
Oh, yes. Whoever you awaken will live with the memories and the personality of a past life. Maybe peacefully, maybe not. That is why you must pay attention to the soul you would awaken, no?
Guy's got a real knack for an understatement.
It is a monumental thing to impose on another, but these are the very people who wish to rediscover the White Forge, Verus.
Fair enough, thank you.
You have much work ahead of you, as do I.
I'm going with him.
You? Go to Stalwart? Is this your macabre sense of humor, or has something gone to rust in that beautiful head I crafted?
No one will bother me while I'm with him. Besides, I can help him find people in Stalwart.
Okay.
You haven't been to Stalwart in 13 years. And this Watcher sees souls. What help could you be? Besides, I have need of you here. You owe whatever remains of your wicked life to me.
Golem says nothing. Her essence smolders. Resentment rises from her in shimmering waves. She swivels her head back to you. What's the story between you two?
This charming specimen is a convicted murderer. The Devil of Carrick, she's called.
Mighty fine of you to start with my good qualities, and you wonder why we don't get more visitors.
Killed over a dozen people before they finally caught up to her in Stalwart. Perfect company for lonely camps and mountain passes, no?
Hey, I know how to start a campfire.
The only reason she's not a frozen corpse is because I convinced the old mayor to let me try an experiment.
Are you not worried about her murdering you?
She may be mad, but she's no fool. She wouldn't survive long on her own. If the villagers didn't send a hunting party after her, the elements would claim her. Her joints and mechanisms require maintenance, and she cannot perform all of it herself.
See, he's reminding me, in case I get any bright ideas.
So you put a person's soul in a metal body. He leans back, raising his hand.
Into a work of art! Look at this! Craftsmanship worthy of a jeweler. Fully articulated joints, capable of grasping a pen and writing her own name.
And of crushing your throat.
Show me another smith anywhere in the Deerwood who is capable of such delicacy and precision. She is a masterpiece.
I take it your experiment didn't go over well with the rest of the village.
Here we go.
They were going to stone her anyway. Why not allow her to be put to some useful purpose?
My life's ambition. To serve somebody's useful purpose.
I approached Mayor Sinahiod and begged. He saw the potential and allowed me the privilege of attempting my little experiment. Then, I accomplished what few animancers have even dreamed of. No academic support, no patron. Just me in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, now you got him all wound up.
I was gonna say, this guy's got an ego on him.
I transferred a fully intact soul from a living subject to a fabricated body. She retained her personalities, her memories, all of it. Yet the villagers saw only a stolen corpse.
Alright, we'll exhaust the dialogue. Why not? Why'd you build her?
Why build a fortress, or a village, or anything? To make something that keeps, that... It was the early days of the Legacy. My peers in the colleges of Animancy were filling the Hollowborn with the souls of animals. I thought there was a better way.
One with a Plum Academy job back in Salona. Don't forget that part.
So it's one of those. So it's one of those fights about who cleans the spears, and not really about the spears. And why she called the Devil of Karak.
She committed her first crime in the village of Karak. Burned a family alive in their home.
Good grief.
Did the same thing in half a dozen other villages, but the name stuck. She's a fine specimen, her personality notwithstanding.
Yeah, she can travel with me.
Quay? No, you don't know what you ask. This woman, the Devil of Karak, she was a notorious murderer, burned people alive all over the region. Besides, she works for me. After all, I am the one who preserved her.
Let me parade her around town. It'll infuriate those villagers. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
So you get use of the Devil's services, and I get the satisfaction of knowing those stiffnecks are sweating through their small clothes, eh? It's a deal.
All right.
Fine price for a blacksmith striker. Suppose I should be flattered.
And there you have it, a bargain.
What is she? She's a rogue. So I think she would be a replacement for
Farewell.
Sanji. All right, let's try it. And there you have it, a bargain.
A moment. You are going back to Stalwart, yes? Perhaps you could do me a favor.
Well, why don't you tell me about it?
There is a man in the village named Grinde, the head fisherman.
Okay, I have a quest line tied to him already, so I'm assuming I need this to actually activate it.
The rest of Stalwart kisses his feet because he fills their stinking blades with speckleback. But I know he's not as virtuous as he seems.
And what exactly do you want me to do with him?
Humiliate him, of course. Show his neighbors what he truly is, and let him live with the disgrace. He's always been a Ripple Sponge addict. Just got good at
Ripple
hiding
Sponge.
it once his sainted sister died and left him in charge of the fishery.
I'm in love with you, bud. I don't know what that means.
But he keeps a stash in the fishery, sneaks in at night when the others have gone home, and emerges sluggish and red-eyed a few hours later.
Okay, that's some kind of drug, I assume.
I want you to expose him. Go to the fishery after dark when it's empty. Find his Ripple Sponge and show it to Renengild.
Seems like you got a history with this guy.
That self-righteous meddler engineered my eviction from the village. He turned them all against me. Now I want him to feel the scorn of those mush-brained imbeciles.
Okay.
Do not answer me now. But when you return to that festering eyesore and smell the stink of fish that hangs in the air, consider what I've said.
Will do.
Besides, you appreciate a good joke, don't you? The Verus, this will be a great one.
Oh yeah, real hilarious.
But be sure to approach the fishery by night, when it's empty. They will give you no end of trouble if they see you stealing during the day.
All right. Do got a couple levels up. I probably need to fix my formation again because it always seems to get messed up when I get a new party member. And sure is. Go there. Go there. All right, we got a couple new quests. That's always good. Let's do these level up real quick. What do we want for you? No lore, no mechanics. Probably a survival. We'll do this round. Maybe athletics next round. And she gets a talent. Acolyte's Radiance would definitely be a good one. Can she get the passive? Yeah, Veterans Recovery. Yeah, she probably wants that. And then Durance. What do we got going on with him? I almost have to give him mechanics, right? I need someone to be able to pick some locks. And here we go. We got a talent. Powered Invocation. That's probably pretty good. Fire accuracy bonus. I don't know about that one. Expiring radius. Buffs are Holy Radiance. We got bonus spells, and then we have like all the regular ones everyone has. I think this guy's probably the best one. We can weaken our targets when we do our debuff a little extra. I think that's the way to go. All right, let's check her out real quick. A rogue that just uses a fine spear. Check her character sheet. What skills do we got here? Might, dexterity. He's not that great. Mechanics 12. Nice. She's got all mechanics and stealth. Why is she using a spear? Yeah, her accuracy and reflex are really good. Now let's find a ranged weapon for her. We'll do that right away. We'll worry about armor and stuff later. Oh, that's not right. No. All right. I think I just gave my good bow to Sanji. That's all right. Here, sort by value, high to low. It's the best bow we got. Most valuable bow we have. Exceptional arbalist. Very slow. Does quite a bit of damage though. Maybe let's go with that. Yeah, let's do that, and we'll worry about the other armor later. She does use heavy armor. Interesting. Should have pretty good heavy armor lying around. Like I said, we'll worry about that another time. Real quick, he does have this other door. We figured out how to open the one. There's a teeny tiny lever next to it. Assuming it'll be the same here. And I think I might be able to open this now too. So we'll check out the prisoner's cell. All right. Hold tab. I don't see a teeny tiny lever. Not seeing it. Don't see it down here. Don't see it here. All right, so I don't know how. Still don't know how to get back there. You do it through the prison cell? Let's try that. Broken construct. Ha. Money of your life, friend. Excuse me? Get a little lost, did we? There's a toll on these roads, 500 copper, or you have a new set of nostrils to breathe out of. I've come to help you. You're free of this place. Free? What are you on about? Yeah, you're in a cell. Look around you. A philosopher, is it? All of us trapped within cages of our own inquiry? What is going on here? Door's right there. Be free. Hey, you're right. It's wide open. Farewell, stranger. I'm free.
I'm free! No cell can hold me!
Oh. Well, that happened. All right. Anything of interest in the cell? Come back here. A little blood moss. Don't see anything else. And finding copper rings, all we got. It's gonna bug the crap out of me that I can't find how to get in this room, but can't sit here forever either. So I guess we're moving on. It looks like we need to head back to Stalwart in order to something. Oh yeah, the
No problem.
awaken a soul. That's what we need to do, and we need to bug the fisherman as well. Ah, dang it. It doesn't let me out that way. Tell me I gotta run all the way. Can I get out here? Is this an exit? It is. Excellent. Alright, so back to Stalwart. We'll see if it's night. We'll probably just go ahead and do the fishery thing. If it's still daytime, then we can start looking for that soul that we need to awaken. And
That
it
was
looks like it's
way
nighttime.
too much black sun.
Oh, what do you got to say?
Village was a touch livelier when I saw it last. Ain't saying much, though.
What do you remember about Stalwart?
Bitter cold and a persistent odor of fish. And that were just the people.
Why'd you want to come back?
Anything's better than Galvino's workshop. You ain't heard the old buzzard sing. Anyway, what about you? We seen lots coming through, trying to crack the battery, but no watchers.
Stalwart said they needed my help.
The do-gooder of the Deerwood. You're a rare breed these days. But don't let me keep you from the sights and sounds of Stalwart. They're easy to miss.
Okay. Make sure we got everyone selected. Should be able to just waltz right into this fishery. Okay, literally everyone's here. Where would this stash be? I'll get in trouble for looking. It's only if I take something, right? Yeah, they're not mad at me just looking. Oil. First placement. Didn't seem to do anything. This bin wasn't considered stealing. Interesting. I don't see anything where the stash would be. Have I talked to him?
What are you doing here? Been running it 4 decades now. I reckon I can tell you what you want to know.
I hear your sister was once in charge here.
Arda was a saint. Lived to look after the village, she did. Fell through a weak spot in the lake ice.
That's unfortunate.
You'll pardon me, but it's not something I much care to dwell on. Need anything else?
As you reach for Grain's essence, you find yourself wrapped in the cold embrace of a snowstorm. You trudge through the snow, each step laborious to numb your feet. You head down against the wind, and your back is bent under a heavy burden. Ahead of you is a frozen lake and the hole you made in it. Your feet crunch over the ice. You wait and secretly hope for a telltale crack beneath you. With the village distant and dark behind you, you would sink and none of them would know. At least you'd be free of the heavy churning feeling in your gut. Yet you reach the hole and the ice is steady under you. You heft the burden off your shoulders, cradling her in your arms. She's wrapped in nets, weighted with stones. You wish one of the priests of Andra were here with solemn words, assurance of ceremony. Instead, you slip the bracelet off her wrist. Andra will have her body, and you will carry this reminder. You slide the bundle into the water and watch it sink as it dwindles to nothing more than a dark stain beneath the ice. You feel scratching at your throat, and you hear the wind moaning in your ear.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You surface from the vision. Whatever it is has nothing to do with Durgan's battery.
You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret.
Yeah.
Glad I'm not the only one who knows not to trust your kind, Watcher. You do well not to trust hers.
Need something else. Been running it 4 decades now. Arda was a saint. Lived to look after the village, she did. You'll pardon me, but it's not something I much care to dwell on. Need anything else?
I spoke to Galvino. He mentioned something about you.
Bet he did. He despised Stowart when he lived among us, and all the more when we gave him the boot. Never knew the old man to stay silent, that's for sure.
He told me you're a ripple sponge addict and wanted me to take a search of your fishery for a stash.
Seems the old man's venom has dulled his senses. Still, I'm glad you're too reasonable to pay heed to that nonsense. I'd hate to see the fishery torn apart by some gullible adventurer on one of his full errands. I'll see to it that there's nothing here for them to disturb.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we failed the Fisherman's Penance task. Whoops.
Didn't think there was anything more than lice and hoarfrost to these folk, but you had a look back there. What do you find when you're rooting around like that?
First, tell me the reason you wanted to follow me to Stalwart.
Mayhap I'm looking for someone. Woodcutter, by the name of Harmka.
Okay. Does this have anything to do with the cold morn, does it?
It sure does. He was one of them. The mob that destroyed Cold Morn. I tracked him to Stalwart years ago, but got caught before I could finish my business.
So you want me to help you murder someone?
Oh, don't go all soft on me. He's had it coming. This man, Harmka, I saw him outside my house the night it burned, staring into the flames the way I seen you stare into souls.
Okay.
I knew it were a fool's errand trying to hunt down every man and woman that carried a torch into Coldmorn. But I...
Just couldn't help yourself?
If I knew I got the one responsible for my kin and my hearth, I might could rest easy.
Okay. And how can you be sure that it was this Harmkey
I
fellow?
took a good long look that night. Ours was a little place with a yellow door right on the edge of town. He was there. Besides, I asked around when I first got to Stalwart. Townsfolk said that all the woodcutters in town took part in the purge. Point of pride for them.
Good grief. And what has this got to do with me?
I told you he was part of the mob. I spotted him watching my house when it burned. But when we find him, I want to know if he's the one responsible for my home, my parents, and my brothers and sister. I never thought I'd have the chance to know for sure, but you could look into his soul and find out. You being a watcher and all.
Alrighty, I'll do what I can.
Mighty fine of you. Mighty fine indeed. Don't know where he dallies these days, but someone in Stalwart could tell us. People from little villages, they always know.
Alrighty, we'll leave it at that for now. And yep, yet another quest. Excellent, excellent. So we got plenty of things to do. But unfortunately, that is going to have to be the end of the episode. Thank you all so very much for watching, and have a good one.